Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter, and welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about some Star Wars comics. We have just two to talk about this week. The first one is the adaptation of The Mandalorian. This is number 2, of course, written by Rodney Barnes with artwork by Jorge Janti. So, getting into this one, we don't go too far into the depth of this because we're not really getting any extra content. If you've watched episode 2 of season 1 of The Mandalorian the Child, you're going to know how this goes from the beginning where Mando is protecting Grogu from the Trandoshans to basically fighting off a Mudhorn and everything in between. There's not a lot of any interstitial thing we haven't seen before, so that's why I keep this conversation brief. This is for the collectors out there. If you've seen the series, you're not going to get anything new out of this, it seems like, so maybe just wait for the trade, because these are pricey at $4.99 instead of the $3.99. So there you go. What I'm excited to talk about this week is Star Wars issue number 26, this mainline flagship of the Marvel series in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Gives us that galaxy-wide picture of what is happening now that the Rebel Alliance has now come together. The divisions have conquered Commander Zara, who is part of the Hunter-Killer fleet to take out the remnants of the Hoth forces. And now they are all back together. The rebels are back together. Their first big, strong mission, a show of force to show the galaxy that they're around, is to assault this Unity Day parade on Barleth, which happens to be a nice little reference to Dr. Aphra. That's where she studied the university and where she was at one point. So we'll see if she gets caught in the crossfire there. But getting into it, we have ADTPs, or ATSTs, the walkers from Solo, this whole big congregation of walkers, and we have all these ships, all of Red Squadron, not Starlight Squadron anymore. We have Wedge in charge of Rogue Leader, or Red Leader of Red Squadron. We have Red 5 with Luke. We have Lando. We have Chewie. We have Lobot on the guns, just blowing away these walkers. There was no collateral damage. They made sure that there was no innocents that were killed in the massacre there of all the machines there. They do have some cool references to Return of the Jedi. The dignitaries that you see, the creepy looking guys, the pale guys in Return of the Jedi that are kind of behind in the throne room with Return of the Jedi with the Emperor. That would be Secretary Osrond and Ambassador Gibbons. They're seen there. They're like, what's going on here, as the rebels are just completely decimating all these things. And the whole point of this was to send a message to the galaxy. The Rebel Alliance wanted to show the galaxy that the propaganda of the Empire saying that the rebels were completely defeated is completely false. They are out there fighting the good fight, trying to show the world that, they could do this the right way without killing a bunch of innocents. Meanwhile, after that, you have everybody getting back together. You have Mon Mothma, you have Akbar, you have Leia. They're all trying to come up with this plan of where do we go from here. Nice, slow, steady rollout of these battles, which will take place to give more confidence to the people to rise up above the Empire. In the meantime, you have Leia mentioning that Qi'ra can give them some resources and that she has Amilyn Holdo, yes, from The Last Jedi, who is their coordinating means of getting that support. Then meanwhile, this is the real kicker here that got me real excited about the story, as we cut back to this thing called Black Facility, codename Second Son. That's where I have Moff Jerjerrod, yes, from Return of the Jedi. He has an inspector of the ISB showing up to his location to just look at the security. After the whole thing with Barleth, the Empire wants to make sure that all their black sites are nice and secure, so she's looking around supervising the methods in which they are keeping things secret. And basically, this site particularly is so secretive that people that work there bring their entire families, including their kids, and nobody is able to leave this facility until it is completed in its entirety. There's even bounties put on people for doing things that are just too much out of the line, that could be too suspicious. So that's how secretive this whole thing is. And if you haven't guessed it already, there they are on Death Star 2. So that's what we're talking about here, is Death Star 2, the first time in canon between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We're getting some background information on the Emperor's second Death Star. And what we have from the perspective of this storyline are these two characters. The one is an assistant to Jerjerrod, who is there for the walk around with this ISB officer, but the other, his wife, is just part of the people that are working, putting the crates where the crates should go and all that sort of thing. They both meet in the apartment. And he tells her he has been contacted and activated by Qi'ra of the Crimson Dawn. And we know from Crimson Reign number 5, she wanted to cause chaos for the entire galaxy. Her aim is to kill the Sith, which includes Darth Vader and Emperor Sheev Palpatine. So she calls on these two people to cause chaos for the Empire for where they are. She doesn't specify, but it's up to these two characters that basically come to the conclusion saying they are sitting on a huge secret, a huge boon, that if the rebellion learned about this Death Star too, then they could cause some real havoc for the Empire. So that is their mission now, is to get this information and to get out of there, and that's what they do. They take over the shuttle that the ISB officer arrived on and get out of the Death Star 2, and that's where we leave this issue. But a huge ramification for the galaxy, because if you're thinking the way I'm thinking, Qi'ra could have, inconsequentially, without knowing really, caused the death of the Empire, because she gave the message, whether she specifically stated, she didn't say to kill the Death or get the Death Star plans, but she had a hand in at least activating agents which would have the free will of doing that. So in a way, she did kind of set forward the events that would end in the Emperor's demise, that would end in Darth Vader's demise, that would end in the death of the Death Star, which later on would eventually kill the Empire as we know it today, until, of course, it rebirthed itself into the First Order. But I thought that was really cool. This issue, for me, was the issue I've been looking for, getting to that macro level of what's happening on with the galaxy. Yes, we also got the little story of like, hey, Luke is going to go study more of that text from that book he got when he had that little adventure with Elzar Mann, with that like mind trip that he had in that one planet. So we're going to get more Luke, we're going to get more Leia, and I think they're going to be on that mission to go save those two. Their names are Bevlin and John. So hopefully Bevlin and John do not die, and hopefully this means that we'll actually finally see Bothans in Star Wars canon. So that's going to do it for me, Starrapter. What'd you think of Star Wars issue number 26? Have you been picking up the Mandalorian issues, or are you going to just wait for the graphic novel to come out? Let me know in the comment section down below for more on Star Wars. I have my commentary on Return of the Jedi, which is very timely, being that we have very much a connective Return of the Jedi type of comic. Go ahead, listen, watch that. It's on the YouTube channel already. Make sure if you aren't already subscribed, you want to know more about Star Wars, you're already in the right place to do that. Just go ahead and hit that bell icon too, and hit that like button to let me know that you enjoyed this video. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.